As leaders gather in Brazil for COP30, the world is negotiating targets. But the real momentum is on the ground. From breakthrough electrochemistry to grid-scale storage, deployment is accelerating. Investors are backing it. About $30 billion went into Climate Tech Ventures 2024. Now the question is, how can founders unlock the capital to go further?
A big market, or someone whose big idea will become a big market, but the execution is understood. It's a model that's understood. So
I don't think it's a surprise to anyone, but like the numbers do not like matter at all in venture capital. Like I have not seen a single person on any deal do a valuation because the numbers don't matter. They're all made up. Like they just like, lick your finger in there and people are like,
Yeah.
32 million pre-money seems about right. And people are like, yeah, I was thinking 28. And they're like, cool, we'll call it 30.
Yeah.
really assess the people. It's a long journey. There's likely to be some form of a pivot. That stick-to-itiveness is really critical, and you can't always get all of that from a first meeting. So spending time forming your own character judgment and then trying to validate with others who might know the team or trying.
You could have the best idea, the best technology, have customer traction, but if you don't come on as a person that's like collaborative and you are open to feedback, or you're not you don't even seem like you want to be there. Like we'll have sometimes people will come on to calls and they're like on a bike or like working out and we're like, what are you doing?
And also preemptive rights, but then also of course have a liquidation preference on our investment, be that participating or non-participating. Of course participating is our favorite. Yeah, those I would say, as long as we have preferred rights, we're typically happy.
That said, I really like product founder fit. So I love it when a founder has a touching story. Like, it sounds terrible, but like I lost my mother to this disease. And so my whole life I've thought about how to cure it. That person's motivated.
And I think if I were a founder, I would very much just be tailoring my message to like, what are the priorities that, X firm, Y firm, Z firm wants to hear. And so like if you assemble like a Series A round that has like a mix of, catalytic capital, impact investors, very traditional capital, you might be pitching them three very different messages. And that's okay. And
I think being out and presenting at conferences, being at any events like incubator style events, because VC firms have associates out there doing the legwork of looking for new deals. And if something's really compelling, it makes its way through the grapevine pretty fast.
On a quite even basis, receive our deal flow from either conferences or co-investors or from founders directly. So those would be our three main avenues, and that's where we would expect to meet the founders too.
It's having a very clear case. Like, hey, I'm doing X, it's solving problem Y, and the value is Z, and this is why I think me and my team are the right person to do it.
It's good management team with good founders and a good kind of investor base with a realistic valuation and realistic expectations of where this company can be in 5 years. Kind of in the end, if we put this into a simplistic formula, equals successful exit for all parties.
Other thing I will say to all entrepreneurs out there is, whether you're assessing it or not, you are taking the credit risk of your customers. Ultimately, you need to get to like project finance or lease financing, and it's going to come up, what is the credit quality of your customers?
eventually, like the rubber will hit the road on climate change, that like we can't really avoid the problems, and that like we are wanting to do it not because it's voluntary, but we don't have other options. And that's when you're going to be really making a lot of money on climate. And maybe that doesn't happen in 2035, maybe it doesn't happen in 2055, but when it happens, then you're going to be making a lot of money. Until then, who knows?
To be honest, I think the commercial perspective is the most important. The impact basically is just a requirement. It's a yes or no thing for us. And of course, we are looking at how much scalable is the impact as well. But scale and impact always also comes with commercial scale. So during the life cycle assessment, we look into the numbers and check if with commercial scale also more impact comes.
Climate really has to be able to speak to a market. It has to be able to give someone a market advantage. There needs to be an economic argument for it. In the state of the economy right now, people really are looking for like best value. One of the really big things is looking at, are they able to make an economic market argument, not just a sustainability argument.
Usually we set a KPI that we will follow, and on which half of the carry it will depend. So this KPI it's a non-financial KPI, it's an impact one.
There's no clear technical path to profitability or, dollar per kWh that's even comparable or competitive in the market. So it's like a really neat idea that just never is going to financially work. Mm-hmm. And so that's your first thing that you want to cross is that hey, this has a path to making money.
We've already looked at most of the markets that we see new entrepreneurs talking about. So we probably already know more than they do, but we've never asked the questions that they would ask because we don't know anything about their new innovation. But we know enough about the space to know if their intel about talking to those customers is really hitting on some of the key categories that we know from our other related work or our own thesis development in that sector, or the hot button issues, mm-hmm. right?